Ferrari's long history as a championship-winning team has become a distant memory as seasons pass without a title or even a serious title challenge. They may have been the only non-Red Bull team to win a race last season, but they still lost second place to Merc in the Constructors' Championship. With a brand new car philosophy in 2024, the Scuderia are targeting nothing less than a championship victory, but that's part and parcel of the team's existence. Catching Red Bull is the only way to make that happen, which is no small task. But if the reports are to be believed, then Ferrari are well on their way to making that happen. Today, I'll check out the reports of Ferrari's massive lap time gains and whether that makes them favourites to fight Red Bull in 2024 or not. Let's get started. While we spend the F1 winter break sitting on the sofa, watching old highlight reels and praying for a title battle in the new year, the teams are working harder than ever to try and provide a car that is so fast there isn't even a hint of a championship battle. For the past 2 seasons, Red Bull have done just that, comfortably outdeveloping the strategically terrible Ferrari team in 2022, and then creating a rocket ship in 2023. Things are likely to change for 2024 though. With the technical regulations staying the same for the new season, the lap times of the 10 teams will start to converge, meaning that Max Verstappen winning every race by 30 seconds should be a thing of the past. We'll have to wait until the season opener in Bahrain to find out how much the teams have converged though. Will Max be winning by a mere 29 seconds in 2024? Or could we see a regular fight for race wins? Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz will be hoping for the latter after a desperately disappointing 2 seasons. It was Charles whose own inconsistent performances conspired with Ferrari's terrible strategy decisions to deny us a long-fought title battle in 2022. And despite being the only non-Red Bull winner in 2023, Carlos Sainz has demanded more of the team. While criticism has often been levied at Ferrari's proneness to strategy errors, Sainz is convinced that the team made a step forward on the operational side last season. "I really don't think we've lost so many points with the strategy this year," he told Motorsport Total. "We didn't get it right in some races, but it wasn't our Achilles heel." Throughout the 22 races, Mercedes and Red Bull also made strategic mistakes. If we have made more mistakes, then perhaps there's still something to optimize, but it is far from being our biggest problem. Just because something isn't your biggest problem doesn't mean you can't address it. In Formula 1, everything has to be working at 100% to be successful, and Ferrari have decided that the strategy is an area they can't afford to let function less than optimally anymore. Inaki Rueda, a vital cog in the team's strategy department and the race strategist during the much bemoaned 2022 title challenge, is being moved away from the Formula 1 team, in what could be the start of a huge reshuffle in a department that has been performing poorly in recent seasons for Ferrari. There is no news currently about who will be replacing him as the head of strategy at the team. So with the strategy team getting a tune-up during the off-season, the pressure is now on the team's hundreds of engineers to provide a car that can end Ferrari's 15-year wait for a title. By the sounds of things, the Ferrari factory is heading in the right direction to make that happen. A report from Italian outlet Gazzetta dello Sport has shared what they've heard about the team's record testing behind the scenes, and although it sounds good, the team are desperate to find more lap time. Every team is hoping to catch up to Red Bull, and they're going to have their work cut out as Adrian Newey has been working on this year's car for some time. They were so far ahead of the rest of the field that they stopped development of the 2023 car very early. However, Ferrari will be encouraged by what they've seen on the simulator ahead of the 2024 season. But no, it's not enough yet. The report from Gazzetta dello Sport suggests that Ferrari have already gained 7/10 on average during their simulator laps. However, this is reported to be nothing sensational, and they believe other teams have already improved by half a second. They also go on to say that Ferrari aren't satisfied with this upgrade, and they still expect Red Bull to have the fastest car. Of course, lap times weren't really Ferrari's main issue in 2023, at least not single lap pace anyway. Leclerc managed 5 pole positions last year but was disqualified in America and converted the other 4 to 3 third places and 1 second place. Carlos Sainz managed to convert one of his 2 poles to a race win, but as a team, 1 win from 7 poles was a terrible return. So while they were comparatively good over 1 lap compared to everyone but Red Bull, they couldn't keep their tyres intact long enough to challenge Red Bull for a full-length race. So while the simulator results might look promising, Ferrari have other problems that need solving. Carlos Sainz has said that the team are looking into their poor Sunday performances though. There are still a lot of meetings to analyse everything. In January, there'll be a review with 1 month to go, and then you'll have a better look at everything. Red Bull understands very well what the car has to have with this regulation. You see that on Saturday. We can beat them or match them. You see that they're not far away, but in the race it's half a second per lap, half a minute in the race. It's deceptive. We have all learned that their great advantage is their versatility on Sunday. That's where I think we have to find the key. In June 2022, we thought we weren't that far away, as Mercedes thought, but 2023 showed us that we didn't take the right direction. Whether Ferrari can find the right direction in 2024 remains to be seen. If they can fix their previous failings and convert that 0.7 a second of lap time they found into race pace, then they will definitely be on the right track. But they aren't the only team trying to catch up to Red Bull. Mercedes, who pit Ferrari to second in the Constructors' Championship, are seen as strong contenders for title challenges, with a brand new chassis for 2024 finally putting the zero-pod concept in the bin, where many believe it belongs. Mercedes endured their first winless season since 2012 last year, a far cry from the dominance they enjoyed at the start of the hybrid era, with 8 Constructors' World Championships from 2014 to 2021. Yet, 2009 F1 World Champion Jenson Button has backed the Silver Arrows to be Red Bull's arch-rivals once again in 2024. When you look at the last 10 years in the sport, it's Mercedes and Red Bull, so it would be Mercedes, Button told Sky Sports when asked about Red Bull's closest challenger. I would love to say Ferrari. I would love to have them in the mix. You could say they were the closest competitor, especially toward the end of the season, but I think Mercedes will have a good improvement. Whether it's enough, I don't know. Button has also backed Hamilton, his teammate at McLaren, for 3 years from 2010 to 2012 to bounce back following 2 seasons without a victory. Hamilton, who turned 39 on Sunday the 7th of January, had previously won a race in every F1 season he'd competed in, prior to his current duck, which stretches back to his last victory in Saudi Arabia in December 2021. While Mercedes might be Ferrari's biggest competitor to challenge Red Bull based on recent history, another F1 Goliath is awakening from a long slumber and could offer a stiffer challenge to Max Verstappen than either team. McLaren's 2 big technical signings have officially started working for the team ahead of the 2024 F1 season. David Sanchez and Rob Marshall have been brought in by McLaren as part of a major restructuring of their F1 team. A revamp of their technical department included the departure of James Key and the arrival of former Ferrari engineer Sanchez, whose signing was announced by McLaren in March 2023. After observing a period of gardening leave, the Frenchman officially joined McLaren on January 1st, becoming the team's technical director of car concept and performance. McLaren's other key capture, Marshall, was confirmed in May last year. Like Sanchez, Marshall also officially started at McLaren on January 1st. Marshall will sit within the F1 technical executive team alongside Sanchez and Peter Prodromau, where he'll report directly to team principal Andrea Stella. He'll be supported by Neil Howdley, who has been promoted into the newly created role of Deputy Technical Director for Engineering and Design. Marshall previously spent 17 years at Red Bull, where he most notably worked as Chief Engineering Officer. Both signings were seen as major coups for a resurgent McLaren in the team's bid to return to the front of the F1 grid. While the impact of their work won't be immediately felt, as much of the development work for the cars that arrive at pre-season practice has been done, they will be able to influence the mid-season developments that come to a McLaren team that look like they're serious about returning to the indomitable force they once were. What do you think of Ferrari's claim of 0.7 seconds per lap gained in the simulator? Do you think it'll be enough to challenge Red Bull, or would you put your money elsewhere? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.